All right, here we go. This one's going to be a 9mm versus 45 auto test. Today we're going to be trying out some Grizzly Ammo. That is another one that Mr. Mike B sent in for us to test, so thank you, sir. Really do appreciate that. So for the first one, that one is 124 grain plus P+. There's what that thing looks like. It is that Montana Gold bullet stuff down in there. It does have your nickel-plated brass. It's right at 1,375 feet per second. And for the other one, that one is the 230 grain plus P Montana Gold. Huge hollow point cavity on that one. Has your standard brass case, and that one's rated at 1,000 feet per second. So we'll see how close we come today. So for our 9, we are going to be testing it out of our Glock 17 Gen 1 reproduction. That one does have that 4.5 inch barrel. And for our 45, we're going to be using our Glock 21. That one does have a 4.6 inch barrel. So 1/10 of an inch difference. I think we live with that. So we'll be going through our gel. Those are 10% calibrated blocks. Do have our catch block behind that. So total 22 inches of gel. 4 layers of cotton t-shirt on the front. And like always, we'll set up our chronograph so we can hopefully pick up those impact velocities. So let's set up and see how these rounds do head to head. First one up will be at 9mm. All right, we're setting back to 15 feet. All right, let's see how we did on that one. All right, so it looks like our impact velocity on that one was 1381. So that is awesome to see. Rated was 1375, so anything above that is just really awesome. All right, and there's that hit on that block. Looks like you got a perfect shot. You can see right down in there and a really nice star pattern so far. So let's check it out from the top. Oh yeah, definitely looking really good. So it looks like as soon as that thing hit this block, it started to expand, getting some nice disruption. Really nice spiral cuts going through there. Looks like maybe that last inch or so it did start to settle down and flatline. And then there it is in that second block. So that's always good to see. So let's see what kind of measurement we have here from the top. Like always, we'll cut these open later, get a little bit more accurate cross-section measurement. But while we're out here, we are right at 3 inches. So that's definitely quite a bit for a 9mm. And that thing was moving, so that is awesome. So here it is from the side. Hopefully you guys can see that. But like I said, it looks like it came in right around that ½ inch mark, started to expand. And for the most part, it looks like it held together. You can see a couple small fragments going through there, but nothing too crazy. But really nice spiral cuts. And then it did settle down, and there that round is, right in that second block. So let's see what kind of measurement we have here from the side. And the widest spot from the side, we are about just shy of 2.5 inches. So that's still pretty good. Not, you know, a little bit less from the side than the top, but you know, still really good. And there is that round. Hopefully you guys can see that. It is actually facing away from us, looking pretty mangled in there. And then our leading edge on that one, we are at 3 inches. So that made it a total of 14 inches of penetration, which is actually pretty surprising. You know, when we get those higher velocities, you usually get a lot less penetration, but awesome to see. So let's set up for that 45 and see how that one does. All right, we're setting back to 15 feet. All right, let's see how we did on that one. All right, so it looks like our impact velocity on that one was 1086. So that is awesome to see once again. That one is quite a bit overrated. You know, that was right at the 1,000 foot or that, yeah, 1,000 feet per second. And you know, 1086 is crazy. That's getting right in that 45 super area. Unfortunately, we didn't get a muzzle velocity. That thing just doesn't like to cooperate when we're shooting super close, but you know, at least we got something. All right, and there's that hit. Looks like I got another perfect shot on that block. You can see right down in there another huge star pattern. So let's check it out from the top. Oh yeah, thing is definitely doing really good. You can see it got some really nice expansion. A lot of disruption through there, tearing that stuff up. Really nice spiral cuts, and that one actually did make it into our second block a pretty good way. So let's check it out from the top. See what kind of measurement we have. It does look like they did kind of collide, so we're gonna do the best we can while we're out here. And it looks like we are about 3 1/8 inches, so about 1/8 inch more than that last one, so that's really good to see. So let's check it out from the side. And from the side, looking like the same thing. So it came in, opened up. Once again, man, you can see that perfect spiral cut going through there. It actually looks like this one held together a little bit more than that last shot. You can't really see too much fragmentation until you get to that second block, but really, really nice damage for sure. And then you can see it resting in there. So let's see what kind of measurement we have here from the side. And at our widest spot, we are about 2 1/4 inches. So just a little bit less from the side than the top, but you know, that's usually how it goes. And there's that round. It is facing upward. You can see one of the petals did end up coming off. That one made it 3 1/2 inches. So that's 14 1/2 inches of total penetration. So 1/2 inch more than that last one. So, you know, that's really good to see. So we're gonna check these tracks out one more time from the top. So the one on the right was at 9mm, one on the left was at 45. So here is that 9mm. You can see it came in, opened up really nicely. Getting a ton of disruption through that block. A little bit of fragmentation going through there. And you can see where it started to flatline a little bit, and then we did make it into that second block. It is that one there on top. And same thing with this one. Came in, opened up. You can see a lot bigger path for sure. But same thing, man. A lot of disruption, perfect spiral cuts. And then this one looks like it did settle down maybe a little bit quicker than that last one. And there that one is in that block. So I'm actually pretty impressed with these Montana Gold bullets. But anyways, let's pull these things out and see what they look like. All right, check these things out. Looks like they both got some awesome expansion. I'm sure you could tell which one is which, of course, you know, by just the size. But the one on the right was at 9mm, and the one on the left was at 45. So here's that 9mm. Thing opened up awesomely. Huge mushrooming, nasty looking round though. Those petals are super sharp, super jagged. A couple of them did peel over the base. Thing still is stuffed with gel, but man, that is a gnarly looking round for sure. And at those velocities, I am very surprised how well it actually held together. Thing is nasty though. And then here's that 45, pretty much same thing with that one. Like I said, this is getting close to that 45 super, or even light 45 super. Almost 1,100 feet per second for that 230 grain slug. But you can see this one is full of gel also. But man, those petals just peeled right back. And I'm pretty sure we got pretty much, you know, all the weight retention. I think it maybe lost one petal. But that is a nasty slug for sure. So check these out one time from the bottom. You can see just how crazy those things are. One on the right was at 9, one on the left was at 45. And last time from the top. So like we always do, guys, we'll get our still shot, slow-mo, everything here at the end. Once again, thank you, Mr. Mike B, for sending this stuff out. This is another fun one, and very impressive. That Grizzly has, you know, starting to become one of my new favorites. Underwood isn't doing it anymore. They're underloading everything they're doing. So, you know, it's good to see another company out there for decent, you know, prices too. But anyways, that one was 9mm versus 45 auto. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, so there's that cross section for that 9mm. That thing was actually very impressive. We have some huge splits. Big old spider web pattern going on, star pattern. So I did remeasure these. They are peaking right around that 3-inch mark and averaging right around that 2.5-inch mark. So like I said, that is very impressive for, you know, 9mm. We never get that much for 9mm. We're usually around 1 3/4 at most. So that is really good to see. So let's cut it open. All right, so here's after being cut. So this bottom is the right side and this top is the left. But you can see pretty much as soon as that thing came in right around that 1/4 inch mark, it started to open up. And then you can see that huge path going all the way through. Some pretty massive splits going on too. That Montana Gold bullet, you know, it did really well. Definitely better than I thought it would do. You know, and at those velocities, I was very surprised on how well it actually held together. You know, we're pushing 525 foot-pounds out of a 9mm, so that is crazy. Almost 1,400 feet per second, so that was very good. But here's the top, same thing, came in, opened up. You can see once again, man, huge path going all the way through. Ton of damage, really big splits. Just tearing this gel up. Like I said, I can't even say it enough. Like, I was very impressed with this load. You know, we did use a full size, so we got those really high velocities. I think next time what we'll do is we'll use like more of a carry, you know, a carry size around that 3 to 3.5 inch, just to see what it could do out of that shorter barrel. But for, you know, the full size, it did exactly what it was supposed to. I believe it was 1375 rated and got 1381, so that was really good. But there you go. You can see a little bit more of a different angle just on how crazy that is. Massive, massive damage though. Very, very impressive, man. Grizzly for sure. Big thumbs up on that one. All right, here's that cross section for that 45. Once again, this one was very impressive as well. This one, it doesn't look like it's crazy or, you know, as much of a star pattern as that 9mm, but it still did really well. We actually did have to kind of cut away some of it because some of it was into the 9mm path, but we do have the majority of it. So I did remeasure these. They are peaking right around that 3.5 inch mark and averaging right around that 3 inch mark. So like I said, very impressive. This one was pushing 600 foot-pounds, so that was great. You know, we're starting to get right into that 45 super area. And I really can't say enough about this Grizzly Ammo. Like, they've been very surprising, and you know, their numbers are legit. And you know, I haven't been a big Underwood fan lately. They just haven't been doing it. They've been underloading everything that they have. But yeah, just kind of disappointing there. But man, this Grizzly, this legit for sure. So let's cut this track open. All right, here's after being cut. So this bottom is the right side and this top is the left. So you can see right where that big old 45 slug came in, started to parachute open, and you know, dumping a ton of energy. Nice wide path. You can see quite a bit of that cotton t-shirt that it's actually dragging in. Big old splits. So that thing had a huge hollow point cavity, and like I said, man, those Montana gold bullets actually did very well, especially at speed. I was very surprised. I don't believe you can get them right now. They're hard to find. I don't know if the company went under or they're just discontinued, but they are definitely very hard to find. Hopefully, you know, maybe we can find some one day and load them even spicier. But anyways, same thing on the top came in. You can really see where that thing is just taking a chunk out of that gel. But huge splits once again, a lot more fabric that was dragging in, and just some huge, huge cuts. Just crazy stuff, man. 600 foot-pounds is definitely very good also for a big old 230 grain slug. Normally those things are struggling to get 1,000, and I believe that's what Underwood is trying to push them at. So I know I keep bagging on Underwood, but man, they just haven't been it lately. Customer service is trash. Quality control's trash. But anyways, we're not talking about Underwood. There's one more quick angle, that 45 slug coming in, just tearing stuff up. Same on this side, it's barely hanging on. Pretty crazy though. But once again, thank you, Mike B, for sending that stuff in. We appreciate it very much. It was definitely a fun test. And like I said, guys, if there's anything you guys want to send in, you know, all my info's down in the description. Just contact me through email. We can go from there. But anyways, once again, that one was the 230 grain plus P. That one was by Grizzly. Thanks again for watching, guys.